All right, guys. So my screen is visible to everyone, right? Can someone confirm?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good. Good. So let me just stop one more minute. Just 1 second. I'll do something, then we'll start. Okay, again it's visible, right? Everyone. Can someone confirm if it's visible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. So guys, yesterday we had discussion about that basic fundamental, how even we can let me start the recording as well, else I'll forget it. So we understand how we can configure the vManage in terms of the taking the GUI access, right? And also we understand different concept of the controller. What is my vManage? What is my vBond? What is my vSmart? What is my VH? What is my CH? So based on that, we understand completely about that the deep and like unique feature of that particular controllers, and we also understand why it is going to be very important and why it is required every time, right? So now we have to start doing the more configuration, and in this more configuration we have to understand how we can just integrate all controller together, and how these controller are going to be like in term of the connected together to just bring the like SD-WAN control plan fabric. Okay, likewise we understand. Let me open the PPT and all. Just give me 1 second. So let me open this PPT. We'll discuss about the Catalyst SD-WAN as well, and this one as well. Okay, so first we have to understand how this entire fabric is going to be onboarded. And when we are going to build this entire control plane fabric, then how the step-by-step configuration is going to be happen here. All right. So let me start doing the configuration. So we just did the configuration about the vManage for the management interface. And based on that configuration, we onboarded the management of that particular vManage. You can see I'm logging here because we just configure the interface, and what we had done the configuration that is under the VPN 510, sorry, 512. So run VPN 512. And under this, we just did the configuration of this particular management interface. Now, I explained that in this SD-WAN fabric, we required the multiple type of the VPNs, and all VPN having a different use cases, right? We discussed, we required the VPN, that is my VPN 0. This VPN is basically for the transport VPN, right? And why you use the transport VPN? Who is just going to tell me why you use the transport VPN?
WAN connectivity.
For the WAN connectivity, right? So if I want to do the WAN connectivity, I require this transport VPN. And if I need a VPN like 512, why we need the VPN 512?
Management.
For the
Management purpose.
Yeah. So MGMT VPN, right? And now we left with total VPN range we have 0 to 5, no, 6, 5. We just have, just wait, 6, 5, 5, 2, 7. This is the range, right? We know that. We checked yesterday, right? Let me
Yeah.
show you. So if I go in the configuration, You just put the VPN and question mark, you are going to get this number, right? 65527. This is the range of the VPN. So 0 is going to use for the my transport VPN. 512 is going to use for the my management VPN, right? And just give me 1 minute. Sorry guys, just give me 1 minute. So VPN 512 is going to the management. Now we left with the VPN, that is my VPN, which is 12511, and now we have the VPN 5132.65527. So this is the VPN range we left, right? So for the any VPN which is going to start from the VPN 12511 and VPN 5132.65527, that all VPN is known as the which VPN?
Service VPN.
Service VPN. That is a LAN VPN, right? So this is how my WAN VPN is going to there. This is my WAN VPN. This is my management VPN. This is my service VPN. This is my LAN VPN. So these all VPN are going to be integrated in this way. And based on that integration, we are just going to deploy our SD-WAN fabric. Okay. So now we have the understanding about the LAN VPN, WAN VPN, and the management VPN. Now let's discuss about how these WAN interface VPN is going to be integrated, how my LAN is going to be integrated. So LAN we are not going to discuss right now because LAN is the last part. It is going to use to when we are going to integrate our branch location. So once we are going to do the branch level configuration, then we are going to integrate the LAN VPN. For the control point of view, in the control plane, technically we not require any LAN because control plane is something where you just have to deploy your management plus your WAN connectivity. So this is my control plane only, right? Controller doesn't require any LAN, so we do not require any kind of the service VPN configuration, right? So let's understand how my WAN transport is going to be deployed in this control plane. So you can see currently I'm taking the access of this particular vManage via the management interface. But page mute Sachin. So, but this controller also need to talk to all your WAN transport so that they can reach to all locations. Means every location that should be reachable, because anyone who want to join the any kind of the control plane devices, they must have the WAN transport connectivity. Then only you are going to reach that. If you don't have any kind of the WAN connectivity, how you are going to reach that? It is not possible, right? So anytime if my controller want to communicate through any branch location, it is always going to possible via the my WAN transport. So there is two way to make them connection. Either I can just directly terminate the WAN circuit to the controller. I can directly take the P router and take the circuit termination on the routers. So this is the one way to doing the configuration. This is absolutely fine. There is no problem. I can take a circuit from the my iNet router or might be the MPLS router, and I can directly terminate the circuit to the all controller. Absolutely fine. And this is going to become the WAN circuit. Another way we can terminate our circuit on the my aggregation switch, my core switch, right? And after doing this aggregation, right, we can just connect them through a special interface, which is going my public interface, which is going to make a kind of the LAN connectivity, but going to serve as a WAN connectivity, right? So we make the reachability, our circuit physically going to terminate here, and we are going to logically extend via any IGP, might be the static routing, might be the connected routing, might be any other default routing. or might be if I want to run some kind of the other protocol, that is also possible, but that is not recommended. We just have to make the circuit extension, because generally we do not terminate the circuits, because if you have to do the troubleshooting, then it is not possible. Because why it is not possible? Because these controllers are the virtual device, not the physical device. Okay, this is the first problem we have. So even I want to terminate the circuit, it is not possible. So that's why we use the physical device like a switch or a server that is going to terminate the circuits from the ISP, and from there we can make the internal VLAN based communication, vSwitch communication, so that they are going to communicate to each other. Right? So now we are good till this here. So when I'm
So
going,
Vishal, just a second. So this is a one WAN circuit, correct? Which we are like terminating on this switch. If we do have multiple WAN circuit, then like for as a backup or redundancy one.
sorry, we have the,
I mean, we do have only one WAN circuit, correct? Which is terminating on the switch. If we do have multiple WAN
so
circuit, like
we have the multiple. You can see one the MPLS, one is the internet. So
okay,
it is
okay,
terminating here, no? See, but
okay,
third event, like just suppose you have another internet circuit. So you can terminate on the switch. Switch have the multiple port, right?
correct, correct.
So we can terminate no, on the switch.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
And the I mean the routing will be done on this switch DC switch, correct?
Right, right. All routing like BGP, static, that all is
Mm-hmm.
going to happen on this particular switch only.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So now let me do the configuration. So how my WAN transport configuration is going to happen. So if I just show you the lab guides, okay, let me show you how it is going to look like. You guys just take a just reference. Everyone going to get the lab guides and all. So you can see we have some this kind of the configuration of the VPN 0. Why you use the VPN 0? Because it's a WAN connectivity, right? And if
Correct.
it is a WAN connectivity, that means we required some sort of the configuration on the WAN connectivity. And in this WAN connectivity, we have to define some IP address. And based on the IP address, we have to do some special configuration like tunnel interface configuration. We have to do some allow services all configuration, no shutdown configuration. So we have to understand step by step why this allow configuration is required, why this tunnel interface configuration is required, and no shut, you guys know that, right? So let me first define my WAN interface configuration. And based on that WAN interface configuration, we have to allocate the IP address, then some special commands as well. Okay. So I'm going on this vManage, and I'm just going to assign the this kind of the IP address on this VPN 0 under interface Ethernet 0 by means Ethernet 0 only, not 0 by 0. So I'll go here first. I'm already in the configuration team. I'll go in the config. I'll put the VPN 0. Under the VPN 0, I will just go and assign this interface Ethernet 0. So I will just go on interface Ethernet 0, and I'll put the IP address. What is my IP address? This IP address is 123.10.10.10. So 123.10.10.10, and I'll put that /24. So now I just assign the IP address. I can put the no shut. Okay. So my job has been done. So let me just do this configuration only. I'm not going to do other configuration for time being. I'll explain why the other configuration is very important for me. So let me just go here and just run this command. This has been done. Similarly, I go on the vBond. So vBond also, my username default is admin. My password is going to be default as admin, and I have to change my password. So I just change this password as well. So guys, one thing you have to note, if I'm going to do the vBond configuration, vBond technically it's a vEdge device only. Okay. vBond doesn't have any special iOS. It is just going to use the vBond iOS, and based on that vBond iOS, my configuration is going to be like my configuration is going to happen in such way where my vBond is going to be converted in the vBond. Okay. So that's why we are going to use the vBond here, and the vBond image is going to use by the vEdge image. So let me just do the rename because it's a vEdge only. So I just have to rename, but still it is not going to convert it in the vBond. We have to run a special command to convert in the vBond. We'll do it later stage. Okay. So let me go in the configuration first. And now on this vBond, I have the interface that is G0/0. So first, let me change the host name. So how I can change the host name? I have to go in the system and then I have to change the host name. I'll explain what is system and I'll put that is the host name, that is a vBond. Done. Then I'll move it again. After moving, I'll just move on this interface G0/0 interface. Sorry, I'll have to go in the VPN 0 and I will go in the interface G0/0 and then I'll put the IP address that 123.10.10.11/24. Right? I'll put the no shut and I'll commit it. Just done. And show run VPN 0. If you see that, my interface configuration has been done. So now we are good here. My interface configuration of the VPN 0 has been done, but you can see in this time, I have much and more configuration if I configure with this particular my interface, that is a VPN 0 interface. Right? Narendra, can you mute yourself, please? So we have more commands here. So we try to understand why it have the more command and why the vManage have the less command. Okay. Now let's go on the vSmart. Again, vSmart having a dedicated device, means virtual device. And I just put the username admin, password admin. Again, I have to change the password. So we are good. It's a vSmart pure device. So I have to go again in the VPN 0 and I will go on the interface. In this interface, we have the Ethernet 0 again. So I'll put ATS 0 and I'll define the IP address 123.10.10.12/24, sorry. And I'll put no shut and commit. So this has been also done. If you run this command show run VPN 0, the job has been done. Now, next, we have the special device here. This device is known as the root CA, right? This is a Cisco router. We just going to use as a root CA. And this device having the special impact on the SD-WAN fabric. Because if we are not going to introduce this device, we cannot achieve our entire lab. So this device is very important for me. And this device must be configured, must be onboarded before we are going to do any configuration in the SD-WAN fabric to onboard root CA, means onboard the vSmart, vBond and vManage or any other VS devices. So let me just do and let me just go on the root CA and do the basic configuration here. So I'll simply go here and I just make the host name.
Hey Vishal, I mean,
Yes.
you haven't explained like what does this exactly this root CA device do? I mean,
I'll
what is
explain. I'll
that?
explain. Can you just wait? I'll explain. Definitely, I'll explain each and everything. Just I'm doing the basic configuration. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll explain these all things very in detail. Okay. Wait for a while. I'm just doing the basic reachability first, so they can start talking to each other. Then I'll explain each device role and each line configuration, which I'm going to do that step by step. Okay. Just
Yeah,
wait.
sure, no worries, no worries, no worries.
So I have the interface G0/0. So if you run the command show IP interface brief, I have this interface. So interface gig 0/0 and IP address, I'll go and define that 123.10.10.13 255.255.255.0. No shut, right? This has been done. So now we are good. So all done. But still, if I try to ping from this device to this device, it will ping via the VLAN 1 because these all port are going to VLAN 1 only. But I want to purposefully create one of the SVI on this device. That is my switch. And after creating this VLAN 123, I'll put all the port under the VLAN 123 instead of 1. Still, I able to ping from the root CA to vManage. First thing, these all four devices should be reachable to each other. So right now it is reachable. Let me show you. If I try to ping 123.10.10.11, see, I'm able to ping. This is my vSmart. vBond. vSmart also reachable, and root C also it is reachable. But it is reachable via the default VLAN, that is a VLAN 1. But I don't want to do that. So I will go on the switch again. And after going in the switch, I will do some basic configuration of the switch. So here I'll go in the switch and I'll put the host name as the DC switch. And this is my host name. And then I'll create one of the VLAN. That is the VLAN 123. I'll put the name as a controller VLAN, right? And then after I will go on these interfaces 0 by 0, 0 by 1, 0 by 2, and 0 by 3. So interface range, I'll use this command gig 0 by 0 to 3. So all interface are going to configure one go, right? And I will make them switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 123, no shut, right? That's all. And I'll put the right. So this has been done. So now if you run the command show VLAN brief, these three ports are VLAN 123. But I also need to create one SBI here. This SBI is also important because we have to do some routing. So we required some gateway, right? From this vManage point of view, vBond point of view, and vSmart point of view. So we just have to put one of the default route on this all controller. And this default route is going to act as a last gateway of resort to make the any underlay reachability via this switch. So until they will reach this switch, they cannot reach to another transport, means another site via one transport or another transport, either via the static routing, either via the BGP, whatever I want to learn, or I want to configure here. So I will just go and create one SBI here, and we'll use that SBI. So I will just configure the VLAN 123 an IP address 123.10.10.1 255.255.255.0, right? And if you see here, we just configure one SBI as well, and this SBI is up and working. So now I'll just write the configuration. My job has been done. Okay, let me check whether my all controller is still reachable or not. So first, I'm able to ping my SBI .1. You can see here. So my .1 is reachable. Let me ping my this vBond. It is also reachable. vSmart. It is also reachable. We have the roots here. Let me ping it. It is also reachable. So we have the all like connectivity. But still we not have the WAN transport reachability and all. So we integrate how the WAN transport is going to be connected on this circuit because ISP is still down. So we'll make it up later stage. Now let's understand. We know the role of this particular vManage. We know the role of this particular vManage, vBond. We know that the role of the vSmart.
Shall we?
Yes, Sakir?
हाँ ये जैसे डीसी स्विच मेरे पास एक है, अगर मोर देन वन हो या हाई अवेलेबिलिटी होगा तो मैं पोर्ट चैनल से कनेक्टिविटी करूंगा एएसएक्सआई,
Definitely,
या
you
अगर
require the
रिडंडेंसी
port
है तो
channel to.
वीआरआरपी मुझे रिक्वायर्ड होगा एचएसआरपी, राइट?
No, it is not going to require the VRRP because we have the multiple interfaces here. You can see. So you can just use the L3 routing instead of the VRRP.
और अगर मेरे पास
VRRP is just for the last gateway of resort, right? We don't have the LAN last gateway, yeah. So we not have any LAN connectivity. We're just making the like underlay reachability. So we can use the port channel. That's your correct concept, right? By using the port channel, we can like make the aggregation, or we can even connect the such kind of the switch in the back-to-back connectivity between these two switches. One switch is going to down, another is going to take a role like what I can say, VTP process, you know that master switch we have, and we have slab switch, the concept VTP version 3. You know that, right?
I know.
Yeah, so we can use that solution as well. So but best way we can use the stackable switch. We can use that some ether channel based configurations where we can just do that multi-port channels where I can just make the backup ports as well to just make sure we have the redundance communication is going to be required. So we are good till here. Any other questions, guys, about this setup? Okay. So let's understand what is a root CA and why it is going to be very important for us. So if I talk about the root CA,
होने पे लगाई ना
please mute yourself. Let me see. So if I talk about the root CA is one of the like server you can think about who having responsibility to validate our all devices. Means it look like contradictory. vBond is going to validate our all devices, but again, root is another device who's going to validate. It's not like that. Validation of the vBond only for the SD-WAN devices when they are going to onboard with their certificate, their serial number, their chassis number. But root C is one of the device who is going to issue the certificate to the all the SD-WAN devices. Right? You can see here. Let me go a little bit down. So we have the concept of zero trust fabric, right? So in zero trust fabric, each of devices are going to require the special certificate. And those certificate must be signed by some root CA. And what is the root CA? So root CA you can think in this way. Let's suppose you have to travel some other country. And if you want to travel some other country, you must be required the passport and visa, right? So just think about you are the one who is in India and you want to travel somewhere in the UAE or might be the US or might be the Canada. So you first get the passport and that passport is going to issue by your passport office. So the certificate authority, the passport is acting as a certificate, and based on that certificate, you can going to uniquely identify across all the airports across the globe. And who is going to issue that certificate? That is your passport office, right? So your passport office is going to issue your certificate, and that database has been shared across the globe immigration center. And one passport is always going to unique for you, and the number of passport is also going to unique for you. So until you not have the passport, you cannot travel for any other country. And even you can reach to another country, they are going to again check your passport and they have the centralized database. And after validating your passport, they will allow to enter inside their country. Okay. If your visa is correct, but still your passport is something fishy, not matching with the database, they will not allow, they will simply deport you to your like origin of country. So the similar concept SD-WAN fabric is going to use, they have the special certificate always going to be integrated with the devices. One is the vEdge identity, right? So we have the vEdge router, they also require the certificate. We have the vManage, vBond, vSmart devices, they also require the certificate. Means every device are going to require the certificate, right? So let's understand step by step what is the vEdge certificate, what is the vManage certificate, and vBond and vSmart certificate, and why this root CA is going to come in a picture. Okay. So if I talk about the vEdge router identity, each physical vEdge router, we are talking about the physical, not the virtual. Okay. They have unique chassis ID and certificate serial number. Whenever it is going to manufacture, these two information is always going to be unique. Certificate serial number and chassis ID means every box having their unique chassis ID and certificate serial number. The certificate serial number is definitely it's hard coded, right, on the box. but certificate is going to store one of the TPM chip that is known as a tamper proof module, right? And this is going to be like embedded in the TPM chip during the manufacturing process. Means when the manufacturing was happening for that particular box, the TPM chip is going to installed, and inside the TPM chip we are going to put the certificate information, and that is going to be always tamper proof. Why? If you're going to just manipulate anything with that particular certificate, your information is going to be destroyed, right? And the certificate which we are going to install, right? So somebody need to issue that certificate, like passport you need to carry. So who is going to issue your passport? Your passport office. Passport office might be having the multiple branches. So any passport office is going to issue your passport, and then based on the passport, you are going to carry your travel from one country to another country. So similarly, the certificate is going to install in the TPM chip, but the certificate must be issued by somewhere in the certificates authority, right? And that is known as the root CA. Root means CA means certificate authority, means whatever the origin of that particular certificate and authority of that certificate, that is going to issue the certificate, and that certificate is going to install in the TPM chip or TPM module. So in Cisco SD-WAN, we have the vNet root CA, means just acting as a passport office. Okay. And this is a certificate authority that is going to issue one of the certificate to you, and that certificate is going to install in the TPM chip. And if the certificate is going to reach to control plane devices, they are going to trust on that certificate. Means similar, if passport is going to issue by the Indian passport authority, and you are going to travel with that passport, and let's say you landed in the US airport or the Canada US port, they are going to trust on that passport because they have their database. So this is how things is going to work for your certification part. Any question till here? Anyone? What is certificate and how the certificate has been issued, and what is the root CA? Any question here? Please tell me.
Vishal, can you explain one more time?
You not join?
No, no, I joined, but I'm a bit confused between these
Okay.
TPM chip and the root
So what
chain.
I'm trying to explain,
Uh-huh.
when the VH router was getting manufactured, then during the initial stage,
Uh-huh.
during the manufacturing process, they install one of the TPM tip, TPM chip, right?
Uh-huh.
Box. In that
Okay.
TPM, that is known as tamper-proof module, they have this special certificate serial number, right?
Okay.
And that is going to install there. But
Okay.
that certificate should be issued by somewhere, by somehow with the root CA.
Okay.
If you have the passport, so passport always going to issue by the passport office, right? And if
Correct.
you're going to get that passport, you're going to travel from one country to another country, that another country is going to trust on your passport, right? Because they have their database, they can validate easily, right?
Uh-huh. Correct.
Similarly, the certificate was issued here in the SD-WAN by the vNet root CA for the VH. You can see, and that
Okay.
is signed by. And once the any vRage router is going to carry those certificate and want to talk to any kind of the control plane devices, they will trust because they know, yes, it is the authentic one who is going to try to communicate with me.
Okay.
Now I just discussed these three steps.
Got it. Got it.
So in VH point of view, this always vNet root CA is going to be there, and TPM certificate is going to be there, and then it is going to be trusted by your control plane devices. Now we have the next point, the semantic root CA, right? This semantic root CA is also available in the VH router. And why it is available? This having a responsibility, you can see here, semantic root CHAN of trust is used to validate control plane element. Means one point of view, your VH is going to control plane. Let's suppose a vManage, vSmart, right? vBond. When it is going to talk, then they are going to trust by using this particular vnet root CA trusted control. They are find the trusted control plane and they are going to validate. But they also need to talk to the vEdge, right? This controller also need to talk to the vEdge devices. So when they are going to come to the vEdge, they are going to use the semantic root CA to just validate or trust their certificate. Means the whatever certificate they are going to carry to just talk between these two devices, they are going to use the semantic root CA to just validate whether this is the control plane is the valid control plane or not valid control plane. They are trustworthy or not trustworthy. If they are trustworthy, then they are going to authenticate, validate. If not, they are going to just ignore you. Clear? So if VH is going to the controller, my vnet root CA certificate is going to be there, and based on the vnet, control plane devices is going to trust on you. When my any controller want to talk with my VH devices, they will use the semantic root CHAN, and based on semantic, they will validate the control plane devices. So validation is going to done from the both end side. Let's suppose I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. And still I want to do the validation. So I use my on root CA. Means I don't want to use my TPM chip, what is available certificate. I don't want to use my vnet root CA. I don't want to use my semantic root CA. I want to use my organization enterprise root CA. Then we can create our own root CA, and that root CA is going to issue the certificate. And based on that root CA, my VH is going to use the same certificate, control plane is going to use the same certificate, then they're going to validate to each other. So this is the third way, where organization want, I don't want to use any default certification part. I want to use more secure, more robust as per my organization need. So I can use the alternatively enterprise root CA chain of trust can be used to validate control plane elements. So this is the reason in this our topology, we are using the root CA. So because we not have the physical devices, all are the virtual devices. They don't have the TPM chips. Okay, because we are in the labs and we don't have the actual original devices. So we are going to use our enterprise root CA. This root CA is going to issue the certificate, and this certificate is going to install my all controllers, and also at the same time it is going to install in the my all VH routers. Once their certificate is going to be installed, the same certificate they will carry to just validate to each other. So that's why using the enterprise root CA. Is it clear to everyone? This point is clear to everyone. Why enterprise root CA is available here? Sabir, you clear?
Yes, yes. So you are saying the validation is, so they'll validate each and every time they communicate all.
Right. So every time they use the certification, and based on certification, they are going to validate. So
So
if I have the physical box and I have the license one, like actual SD-WAN deployment fabric, I would have the by default vnet and semantic root CA, right? By using that root CA, I can validate devices without any issue. But right now I don't have any kind of a root CA because we are in the virtual environment. So we'll create our own root CA, and based on that root CA, we can do the like two-way verification from the edge to the controller and controller to the edge, and even
So,
edge to edge validation
okay.
also will happen.
Okay. So Vishal, like, if I am, like for a new branch, if I am set up a VH, so I need to, I mean, install the root certificate in that VH, correct? To validate it to the vBond and vSmart and vManage.
Right.
Okay.
So one more thing, Vishal, so I think Viptela, they have created this TPM chip. So now Cisco is also still doing it because around, I think 2 years back, So we had a major SD-WAN outage. Okay, so then what happened? The TPM chip got expired. I think you are aware of this.
Yes, right. Yes. CPM tip got expired. It was having some
So
major noises.
still they are using the same technology, Viptela, I mean, Cisco, the TPM chip.
Viptela devices having a different way to doing the identification, not the TPM chip only come with the Viptela devices.
So coming to Cisco Cattle, the SD-WAN, so I think these things are not being taken into consideration, correct?
Yes, you can use the OTP base also another way instead of this particular TPM base authentication. We have the way this OTP token here, right? That OTP token another way to identify that particular devices. So OTP token is going to be generated by the vManage, and that is going to use for the chassis number and serial number, and we just have to upload the VH list, and by using that same method we can verify the token based authentication from the VH to the controller and controller to the VH. Same we can use for the, if I talk about the cartless SD-WAN. So VH, whatever the VH we are having here, right, still they are using the TPM chip, when because we are going to use the hardware based devices, or we can use the token based like OTP based communication. The both is possible. But when you are going to talk about the CH are not having the TPM chip. Okay. They purely use the like onboarding process based on the tokens. We have the OTP, and based on that we can onboard the devices. So we'll see how it is going to onboard it, like how certification is going to happen. Even I have the, in this scenario, you can see I have the root CA, right? And in this device, I have the serial number and we have the chassis number. So based on the serial number and chassis number, how we can validate via the root CA and get the certificate, and based on that certificate, even the CH is going to be onboarded. So that is absolutely possible without the TPM chip. And here also without the TPM chip, without the OTP, we are going to do the all process. So we have the alternate, even I want to use not any chip, TPM chip kind of the certification. That's why I can use my on enterprise root CA. And based on that enterprise root CA, I can just communicate and I can generate my certificate. After generating my certificate, I can validate my control plane. I can validate my data plane. So the problem with the expiry of the TPM chip certificate has been eliminated completely. Clear?
Yeah. Please, can you just show us like the what details are encrypted in the certificate? Can you just show us?
Sorry,
I'm saying, can you please just show us one certificate like in this?
I'm going to do all these things. Certificate. I'm going to do it from scratch. Without
Okay.
certificate, nothing is going to work. So I'm going to generate certificate from the very scratch. Okay.
Yeah,
So
makes
you're
sense.
going
Makes
to
sense.
see each and every. This is one of the complex process, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's configure first
सर
our.
ये वन टाइम प्रोसेस रहेगा ना
Sorry.
सर्टिफिकेट का सर्टिफिकेट का जो है ये वन टाइम प्रोसेस रहेगा ना ड्यूरिंग द ऑनबोर्डिंग
Yes,
प्रोसेस
one time process, but one of the complex process. Okay.
यस
So let me see if I have to add anything. So same thing, like we have to whitelist and all. So we'll discuss later stage. Let me just do that certification part. So this is my root CA, right? There is no configuration at all. So we just have to configure the root CA first. So let me open the lab guide. So my training lab guides. So let me see root CA. Okay. So this is my root CA, you can see. So in this root CA, we just have to do configuration step by step as per the lab guide. All right. So you don't have to use a lot of brains here, because it's not your responsibility to build your root CA. It's somebody server team need to bring the or like configure the root CA, and they will just give the certificate. You have to install it. But being the lab user, you should know even how to configure the root CA and what the configuration is going to require. So simply we just have to define the host name of the root CA. We have to generate some crypto key RSA label that PKI. That's the certificate. Basically, PKI we are going to generate. This is a label of the certificate PKI. This is the name is going to be happen, and we are going to use a modulus that is the 2048. and we make this particular router as the HTTP server, it is not required. We require the TFTP server basically. But in some case, if you want to make the router as a HTTP server and you want to copy from your web browser, in that scenario, it is going to require. And we just have to configure the crypto PKI server and the server label, that is a PKI, you just have to put the name. And then you just have to copy the database, everything in the NVRAM of the router. And also you have to define the database level complete. And then you have to give the issuer name, who is going to issue the certificate. We are just going to give the rootca.lab.local. This is a domain. So we can put any domain, but should be ending extension should be .local, right? So you can use this rootca, and in middle you can put any name, but your first and last should be the same. In middle, your on domain might be your name, your company name, your some other name, and then you can put the hashing. You can just put the password, and you just put the grant certificate auto. So what I'll do that, I'll simply copy the entire configuration from here. Okay. And after copy, I will go in the terminal. And in this terminal, I will use Control Shift Alt, right? So my small window is going to be open, and I'll just put the text input. And here my again small window is open. I'll just paste the configuration here entirely. So it's not in the configuration mode. Let me first go in the configuration mode, and I'll paste the entire configuration here. So see, my all configuration has been copied. And if I want to get out, again, I put Control Shift Alt. So let me complete first. So my certificate has been done. So I'll just click none. So this has been done. So if I see here, let me write it. So my configuration, whatever I have done, that has been completed. Now I want to export the certificate. Means the certificate I generated, I want to export the certificate in the NVRAM. I can export I required some kind of storage, right? So I can export the certificate either in the NVRAM, I can put either in the flash or in the system. So simply I'll go here and put in the NVRAM. So I'll go here and put the certificate in the NVRAM. So simply I will go here. I have to go in the configuration first, and I just paste it here. So it is asking the destination file name, pki.ca. This is our label, and CA is like, certificate authority. So I'll just click OK, and certificate has been copied in the NVRAM. So now my job has been done till here. Next, because this certificate need to accessible from the TFTP server, let's suppose this device need to copy the certificate. This device. So this device must be TFTP server. So by using the TFTP protocol, we can copy the certificate. Else how we can put the certificate? We'll require some kind of media, right? So TFTP is media. By using that TFTP, I can simply copy the certificate via the LAN. It's basically this connectivity from this device to this device or this device. Likewise, you uploading and downloading router in the vSmart in the router and switches. Same thing we have to do that. So right now my router is acting as a TFTP server, which is my root CA, and I can just copy this certificate to my devices without any problem. So let me go here. And I'll simply just go and make this TFTP server. So I have to go in the configuration and put this command. So now it's done. So now my all configuration has been done and my root C is ready. But how I can check what is certificate I have here? So you just go in the dir and you can just put the more command. So dir have you can see all directory. So we copy the certificate in the NVRAM. Okay. So let me go in the NVRAM. If you want to check in the NVRAM, you can see this is the NVRAM and just put the enter. So you see I have one of the file which has been copied, the pki.ca. This is the file we copied. Let me show you. So when the certificate was generated and we just trying to copy the certificate in the NVRAM, this was the file, okay, that was generated. And then after, I will just want to see what is my certificate. So I'll just go here and put more. And I'll just use again directory NVRAM and I'll put the file name. So it will show the certificate detail. So this is a certificate has been generated inside of the root CA. So if this certificate someone is going to install in their memory and it is going to come for any authentication, then my devices are going to validate to each other. So we need to install the same certificate to all the devices. Okay, clear till here, everyone? So we just generated the certificate and this root C is ready and they have the certificate, but we have to copy this certificate to all the control plane devices. Any question? How we generate the certificate? What is the root CA? And how basically we make the TFTP and how we copy the certificate in the TFTP and the NVRAM? So I'm taking everyone clear till here. I just write this configuration. Now what do we have to do that? We just have to go in the vManage, right? And we have to copy the certificate. So let me go in the vManage. Now in the vManage, if I go in the VPN 0 configuration, you see that we have the single line of the command here. That is my IP address 123 and whatever the IP address we have and just no shutdown. But we have to understand whenever we are going to build any kind of transport, right? We have to define two things. One, my transport should be tunnel interface. Another thing, we have to allow some services on the tunnel interface. Why tunnel interface? Because if we are going to talk about the WAN transport, the WAN transport have to build the TLS, DTLS tunnel. This is the one type tunnel. Also, they require the IPsec tunnel. Also, they require the BFD tunnel. Also, they require OMP tunnel. Means OMP is going to be required here. So before I can go and do the certification part, we also have to understand why this tunnel configuration is very important and whether this DTLS is going to require for this kind of the control plane WAN transport tunnel. IPsec is going to require, BFD is going to require, OMP is going to require. That also we have to understand. So let me go a little bit deeper size of this particular tunnel concept. And let me go here. So we'll discuss this all. So see that we have the tunnel, that is the OMP tunnel. That is my TLS and DTLS tunnel. That is a IPsec tunnel and a BFD tunnel. So first we are going to focus what is the TLS and DTLS tunnel. So if I talk about TLS and DTLS, both are the layer 4 tunnel. Means layer 4 is a transport layer tunnel. DTLS is based on the UDP. TLS is based on the TCP. This is the only difference we have. Means both are a tunnel. One is based on the TCP, another is based on the UDP. So if I want to bring the tunnel based on the TLS, so that means my TCP based tunnel is going to be enforced. It is going to do the three-way handshake. It is little bit slow because they have to do the TCP three-way handshake process. But if I'm going to build the DTLS tunnel, it is the very fast TCP three-way handshake is not going to require, and this tunnel is going to be work very fast way in doing the any communication. So this is the only difference between TLS and DTLS. But why we use a TLS and DTLS? That also most important. So TLS and DTLS is the very secure tunnel because the layer 4 security is going to be happen. And without making the TLS and DTLS tunnel, any communication from the controller or might be the branch side, it is not possible. Okay. So let me go on the device. Just think in this way. So I want to communicate from vManage to vH. This requires a tunnel, TLS or DTLS. If this want to communicate to this device, this also required TLS or DTLS communication. This want to communicate this one, this also required. This want to communicate this one, this also required TLS or DTLS communication. So you can see vManage want to talk vSmart, TLS, DTLS. vBond want to talk the vManage, it's TLS, DTLS. vBond want to vSmart, the TLS, DTLS, vice versa. This vBond also need to talk to the VS devices. Okay. That also required TLS, DTLS. vSmart also need to talk with the VS devices. That also required TLS, DTLS. So you understand? Means any controller want to talk to each other. Without TLS, DTLS, they cannot talk to each other. Okay. If they want to talk to my any edge devices, that always going to use the TLS and DTLS, then only the communication is going to be happen. So this is how powerful TLS and DTLS is. So this is used for the all control, traffic communication. So what is the control traffic communication? We'll understand. So just control plane like communication, it is going to require, it is going to always under TLS and DTLS. Now what is my IPsec and what is my BFD? So IPsec tunnel is going to build always between the VH router to VH router, right? And under the IPsec, we enforce the BFD tunnel. So IPsec in VFD always going to create between the VH to VH routers, and BFD is also going to between the VH to VH. Clear to all? Where IPsec is going to create, where TLS DTLS is going to create, where VFD is going to create. Any doubt? At least give me yes, no.
Sorry, Vishal. What is like I know about the IPsec tunnel. What is that BFD?
We'll discuss. At least you understand the basic concept. We'll discuss what is the BFD, what is IPsec. We'll discuss in very detail. Okay, let us say. But at least you understand a tunnel type. How many tunnel type we have. I'll
Correct,
discuss what is the BFD, why how IPsec is going to be configured. Even I'll show you the configuration how it is going to look like. Okay.
Okay.
But for time being, we understand where the tunnel is going to be created, right? Now we have the another tunnel that is a OMP. So OMP tunnel is going to be created always from vSmart to the VH router and vSmart to vSmart. If we have the another vSmart and I want to connectivity, I want to do the connectivity, again OMP is going to be there. So OMP is always from the router to the vSmart, vSmart to vSmart, IPsec always VH to VH, BFD always VH to VH, and TLS, DTLS always from the all devices. Clear? So let me show you here in the diagram again. So you can see here, whenever we have the OMP, it always going to between the VH and the vSmart. And OMP is always inside of the TLS and DTLS tunnel. So first we have to build the TLS and DTLS tunnel, and that after building the TLS and DTLS tunnel, we have to create the OMP tunnel. And this is how my communication is going to be happen, right? My IPsec always going to between the VH to VH device, VH to VH, VH to CH, and inside the IPsec tunnel, we are forming the BFD tunnel. So see, solid, you can think about the, what is a brown line, and this is between the VH to VH. And the OMP always going to trigger once my TLS and TLS tunnel is going to build, right? And if you go here a little bit, the V8, vSmart to vSmart, always my OMP is going to there. My VH router to VH router IPsec tunnel is going to be there. So might be in some other slide you are going to see that. So it is not there. Yeah. So we'll see in some other slide. So at least you guys understand. So every device require the tunnel configuration. Means every device WAN transport interface is going to require the tunnel interface configuration. So that's why you can see here in the vManage configuration guide, we have to define this tunnel interface and allow services all. Why it is important? Because they have to trigger the TLS and DTLS tunnels. You just have to define on the interface. Yes, you are the eligible to trigger your TLS and DTLS interface like initiation, so that another router is also negotiate and they will bring the TLS and DTLS tunnel. And then you have to allow the services. If you're not going to allow the services, your TFTP, HTTP, DNS, other services is not going to work on this particular interface. So that's why we'll go on the vManage router under the VPN 0 again, and I will go on the interface and ETS 0, and I'll make this interface a tunnel interface and allow services. You can see a lot of services are here. So if I'm not going to allow the services, by default, all services are going to deny. So basically I need the TFTP services. I'll make that all services allow and I'll make the commit. That's all. So now you can see, so run VPN 0. I have this configuration, right? So I have the allow services. All services have been allowed, and that also have the IP address and make the tunnel interface. Similarly, I have to go on the vBond also. So vBond already tunnel interface by default configuration is available. So only I need to allow the services. So let me go here. And why by default it is available? I'll tell the reason, because let me tell that right now. We are using the VH image for the vBond. And if we are going to use the VH image for the vBond, right, by default, this G0x0 interface is known as the transport interface. So once by default, the router know I am the transport interface, so they by default configure as a tunnel interface. This is the default behavior. So that's why you don't have to worry about it. It is always going to be G0x0. Other interface might be not going to be happen if you're going to use, but once you're going to use 0x0, they are going to use the tunnel interface by default configuration. If what it is not available, you can do the manual configuration. If apart from G0x0, you have to do some other interface configuration. So let me go here. Interface G0x0, right? And I will go in tunnel interface, allow services all. Okay, I will commit. You just have to do the same way for your lab configuration. Now let me go in the vSmart. And vSmart, I'll go here and I'll go in the configuration. VPN 0 and interface ATH 0, tunnel interface, allow services all. So now the job has been done. Okay. Now I have to copy the certificate which is available on the roots here to these all devices. So let me go on the first on the vManage and copy the certificate. So to copy the certificate, you have the everything written in this particular lab guide. We also need to configure this default route. Also, we need to configure the system configuration. We'll discuss what is the important of these all configuration and why you need to do this all configuration here. Okay. So let me first configure the certificate part. So you can see how the certificate is going to download it. So in vManage, if I want to run the TFTP services and copy, then I have to go in the Linux mode. That is a vSale mode. And this is the command TFTP -G -R. And we just have to put the file name and the TFTP server IP address. By using this command, the certificate is going to be copied from my root CA to my vManage, and then we can download or install that certificate. So let me see how this is happening. So first I need to check whether my TFTP server is reachable or not. So we already make the reachability. So see, I'm able to ping that. So I will go in the vSale, right? And I can go here TFTP -G -R. The file name is a pki.ca, and then I can put this IP, the certificate. But how I come to know whether my certificate is getting copied from my TFTP server or not? So I will just debug the debug TFTP packets and debug TFTP events. So I just debug, and you can see this is my last log also. So debug I just on, just make sure I'm doing the copy or not. So this is my, you can see last log. We don't have any TFTP related packet communication here. All right. So because the debug is on this particular root CA, so anyone is going to come me to copy the file. My debug log is going to show me somebody is trying to copy my file, and it is also going to show me whether the file has been successfully copied or not, right? So let me go here and put this command. So this command has been run, but I don't know whether my file has been copied or not. So there is a way I can check here also, but let me check what is happening in the root CA. So you can see this packet has been triggered here. Read it carefully, these packets. So once I run the debug, these entire packets has been triggered. And the first packet, it is showing that the server requested on the port, dear TFTP port 32794. And the request was come from, this is the IP, the vManage IP address 123.10.10.10 via this interface, right? From the switch, the router. And then they are looking for the file pki.ca. Now the NVRAM, this file is stored in the NVRAM. So NVRAM has been opened with the size is 1127 and sending like block retry 0. And then this, so packet has been three-way handshake completed. The packet has been received and finished the NVRAM. The time has been done. So it looks like there is everything is finished and file has been sent from this TFTP server to the client. So let me go in this particular client and I will check whether I have this packet available or not. So I'll just run the command ls -l and I see this my file is available, right? So if this file is available, right? So we are good till here. We just have to install this file, right? There was command. How can I check? I believe we cannot. Let me check. It's not working. This command. I need to check what is the exit command to open this file here. But yeah, we have the other way. We can check it. So we just exit from the vSale mode, and we have to install this certificate. Because certificate is available here, we can see that the certificate has been copied. Now, what I have to do that once certificate has been copied, I have to go in the vManage. You can see there's a lot of steps are written here. You just have to go and request, and then certificate is there. And then you can just do that particular kind of the copy and paste. So I have to go in the vManage lab guide. And based on this lab guide, right, what I have to do that, I will just download and install this certificate. With certificate downloaded, so I just install this certificate in this directory. So I just simply copy this and I'll go here and I'll just paste it. So you can see the certificate has been successfully installed in this vManage. Done. So till now here we are good, right? And certificate has been installed. Now we just have to configure the vManage and we just have to integrate the root cert chain and root CA configuration on the vManage so that we can generate the final CSR to just get the final certificate. So what does mean? Let me explain in detail. So we have actually, let's suppose you can understand this way. You want to get the passport now again. I'm just telling the story. So what you do first? You have to take an appointment. This is the first step, right? Once you have the appointment with the passport office, you have to get a form, right? And you have to fill those form, right? So form has been filled with your own detailed. So you just ready with the form, you have the appointment, and then you just go to the passport office again, and you should be physically presented. You should be present your all form with all documentation, and then passport officer will do some detailed verification, photograph, fingerprinting, and some other document check, and then finally they will issue your certificate. Same thing is going to happen here. In this stage, we have the certificate. The certificate has been, just think about, the certificate form has been pushed to the vManage, right? Now vManage have the certificate that has been installed in their memory. Now what they have to do, that they have to fill their own detail on this certificate, and then they have to send the new form, that is a filled form, to this root CA, that is the passport office. Here now your detail is with me, and I included my detail, and now you just validate your detail and my detail and grant my final certificate. So this is the last step we have to do that. You guys are understanding what I'm trying to make a point here? Guys, you guys are understanding?
Yes, yes.
I know it is a little bit like complex process. That's why I told, right, onboarding the controller is like one of the complex process. But yes, we just have to understand in the small concept. So let me repeat it again, what I'm trying to make a point. First page, we just configure the root CA. This root CA have their own certificate, right? Cert. This cert we just imported in their memory, right? Just think about this, the form, right? So what they are going to do, that we just imported and installed in their memory. So they, this device having their all informations, other information also, like device, their credentials. Just think an example. So by using this certificate and their own detail, they will create one of the new filled form or new certificate, right? So based on that new detail, they will again come back to the root CA and they will tell, hey, I have the new form with the filled detail. Can you just sign and issue my final certificate? That is your passport. And then that is going to be signed and that is going to be shared to the vManage. Then it is the final step. So still we are in the middle of this stage. Okay. So let's wait to the next step. So now let me go and do some basic configuration of the vManage. So I will go on the vManage again. And we have this vManage. And you see here is the step-by-step lab guide available. What you have to, so you just have to go in the GUI, and after going in GUI, you just have to go in the settings port. So here we have the settings. So I will go here and you can see settings. In these settings, the GUI, you have to configure some organization name again here. That is not configured till now. So what is our organization name? So based on the root CA configuration, when we configure the root CA, we define the lab as organization name. You can put any name. So lab here is the organization name. Yes, someone is asking something. Bipin, you asking?
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Here. So organization name here we put as a lab, right? You can put any name. So root CA is your common. Domain lab is your common, but org name should be your variable. It could be your name, organization name. I just use the lab here. I can put the GUINet as well. This is also possible. So I'll put this as a organization name and I'll put as a lab and confirm as a lab. I just save it. The first step done. Now it is asking what is your vBond detail. So I will go here and this is my vBond 123. Yeah, here is a system IP. Don't be confused. I didn't tell anything about system IP. We'll discuss about what is system IP. But just wait for a while. Here is your IP. The transport IP is going to act as your vBond IP. So we have the 123.10.10.11. So I'll go in use. And by default, this is the port is going to be used here. So I just save it. Email notification, I want to use any email notification. You can put any email notification. So we don't have any SMTP server and all. So I just disable, I don't require it. So I cancel. Now it is asking hardware WAN certificate authority. So we can ignore this. This is not required because we don't have the hardware. Now it is asking about the controller certificate authorization. How the control plane certificate authorization is going to work step by step. So we have another thing, VH Cloud certificate authorization like automated. So we are not going to use automated because we don't have the licensed one Cisco cloud portal where we can just integrate our PNP and the Jet2B process. We are doing by our own enterprise root CABase authentication. So we are not going to use this one. We just use the controller certificate authority, and based on that certificate authority, we have the multiple option. The Cisco automated means if I'm going to use Cisco one, by default, it is going to give the all flavor. You don't have to do anything. Automatic, everything is going to be happen. Semantic automated, if I want to use a semantic, which we learn in the PPT, that is also possible. I can do the automatic. Nothing I have to do that, right? We just have to give the details some based on the my subscription, and then it is going to work. Manual, if I want to do some manual certification, I can select the manual. That is also possible. But we are not going to use this, and this. We are going to use the enterprise root CA. That is my on root CA. Okay. So simply I go and use the enterprise root CA. And this enterprise root CA, we just have to copy my on certificate, right? So I have to copy my on root CA certificate. So what I have to do that? I have to copy the certificate, the root CA, which we show here. Or nvram pki.ca. So we just have to copy. Now you guys listen carefully. If you try to do from browser, because this is the one browser, right? And you're trying to do copy from this browser to this, it is not possible because we are in the browser inside of the virtual PC. Muhammad Arif, please mute yourself. So this copy paste is not possible. If you try to do that, this copy paste is not going to work for you. So what is the way? Because we are in the one virtualization environment, right? And we are trying to put the and copy and paste the another virtualization environment. So which is not possible at all. So how we can do that? So there is no way to copy and paste. So we can use some kind of the email communication or might be the WhatsApp communication to copy and paste the certificate part. So by referring this issue, right? That's why we integrated the internet on this particular PC. So what we're going to do that, we are just going to email, we are going to open the email Gmail here. And based on the Gmail, we are going to copy some certification part. So let me put my Gmail ID. And I can put some password. You have to use your own email ID. Okay. Just open on this PC. Internet is going to work. Yeah, so email has been open here. Same thing, what I'm going to do that, I'll open another email in my, let's suppose incognito mode. I'll go here and I'll email Gmail something. Let me sign in. Same email I can open here. But it's not working. Okay. So let me validate this one also. So now we're done. So what I have to do that, simply I go in the email, right? And I just compose one new email and I just copy this one, okay? And I put the cert and I simply go in this browser. Let me minimize this. So I'm in this browser. I'll go in this particular terminal where the certificate is there. I'll just copy the certificate carefully. And after copy, I just go and open this and I just paste the certificate. So my paste has been done. I just minimize this browser. I will go in this particular window PC and open the email. You are going to see my certificate is going to be available here. So this is certificate. So now I am in the PC, virtual PC. I simply go and copy the certificate. I simply go copy the certificate. So my certificate is going to be copied from here. And once I copy the certificate, I'll go in the vManage. I just simply paste this certificate. So my certificate has been pasted here. Carefully, you have to do this all without any typo, without any like missing the character while doing the copy paste. So the certificate has been copied again. And we have to click the set CSR. CSR is certificate signing request. In this certificate signing request, we use the root CA certificate. We add our informations, and based on that, we generate the CSR file, and this file need to be signed by the root CA for the final certificate. So I'll select the set CSR property, and what is my domain name? That is my lab.local. So domain is going to be this one. Let me show you. This is your domain. Okay. So I will go here and lab.local, and organizations is your lab. Again, you put the lab. CT, let's suppose I can put Kolkata, right? State might be the, I can put Bengal, right? West WB it will take or not? Yes, taken. For GuiNet.com, country IN, validity, you can select 1 year, 3 year. It is going to be select the validity. So I'll just save and import. So my certificate CSR file has been created. So let me show you again. So this is my controller certificate, and based on that certificate, we use the Symantec root CA, enterprise root CA, not Symantec one. And we put the certificate, we put some organization detail, we put our country, state, email, and validity. That is done. So this is done. Now what next? So go again the lab guide. In the lab guide, you can see here, we have done this step. We generated the certificate. We put it that information, vBond informations. We selected the root CA cert file. Then in this point, we have to go again on the root CA. So there are the steps how we can get the certificate. We'll copy and paste. So it is written here, certificate will be used from the root CA by running the below command. So I run this command. Which command I run? I run this command, the more PKI and this one. But if you want to run this command, it is also going to give the certificate information, same certificate information. You have to go in the configuration and you have to run the command. So you are going to get the same certificate information. So you can just go in the configuration and paste this command. See, the same certificate information is available. So either you can use the more one command or you just follow the lab guide. You can use this one command. Both is going to give the same output. So you just not be confused, like what I explained, what is written in the document. So we're done here. Now we done with the certificate. Then we have to generate, because we include the CSR properties while uploading the certificate and giving the organization name. Now we have to generate the CSR. So how we can generate the CSR? We just have to go again here in the vManage dashboard. You have to go in the certificate. How? You just have to go in this configuration. You have to go in the certificate. You have to go in the controller. So now you can see still certificate is not installed. And even you go to the main dashboard, you will see this is invalid dashboard, right? I mean, this vManage is invalid, not a valid one. So let me go again in certificate, in configuration, in certificate, in the controller. And in the controller, you can see I just selected the vManage. And in this vManage, I have the option in three dot here, and we can generate the CSR or view the CSR. So if I'm viewing the CSR, there is no CSR. So certificate signing request, we don't have anything because we just added the device. CSR generation is still pending. You can see still it's a grayed out, not like green check. So I will go here and generate the CSR. So now my CSR has been generated and this is my certificate. So device will automatically generate the CSR. So I'll just copy this certificate again. And this is the final certificate which has been issued by combining the vManage their on detail and the certificate I received from the root CA. Now I'm just going to use this certificate CSR to get final certificate from the root CA. Okay. So I will just copy it. And again, I need to paste it on this particular root CA. I cannot directly copy and paste. So what I can do that, I'll simply send over the email. So I'll just reply here. And let me paste it here. So this has been pasted. Okay, so this has been done. Now we just have to go this step we done, right? Now what I have to do that, I have to copy this certificate and I have to go on the root CA and I run this command. Okay, so I will go in the root CA. Where is my root CA? I just exit from here and I just paste this command. So once I pasted, you can see the small terminal has been available, but you just paste the certificate. If you want to paste the certificate from here, let me go in this browser. So let me see. So now certificate has been copied. If you're going to paste this certificate entirely from this browser to this, it is going to paste, but it is going to throw an error. So what is the best way to paste a certificate? So you just have to use Control Shift Alt. And if you're going to paste, press all three together, this window is going to be open. Small side window is going to open left side. So just put in text input. And now you have the small window available here. You can see the below one, a small window. You can see this one. So whatever you copy here, now you just paste it in this small window. So once you paste it, the certificate is going to paste correctly. If you're not going to do this one, it is going to throw an error. So I'll just click OK, enter. I again put this none. And after putting enter, you just have to put command as a quit. So see, you just hit enter and write quit. So let me go here and put the quit. So once we've done that, we have the granted certificate and this is my final certificate. Okay. So let me recap what we have done in the first step. So first step, root CA configuration, right? Then second step, vManage copy root CA cert via CLI. Third step, vManage install root CA cert via CLI, right? The fourth step, vManage copy plus generate CSR via GUI. Fifth step, get CSR from vManage and get signed via root CA. And sixth step, finally, we have granted final certificate. Okay. And seventh, we have to install final cert at vManage. This is the last step. So till here we have done all completed. This is pending only. Okay. So now we have this granted certificate. You can see this is my granted certificate here, and this granted certificate must be installed in my vManage. So no worry, this is the repeated process. So we'll do for the all controller. So next time you're going to find very easy. So let me copy this carefully again. So again, I cannot copy and paste directly. So I'll just use my email. I can just reply it here. I'll just paste it and I'll just send it. So this has been done. I will go on this PC and check whether the certificate is available or not. So this certificate is available now. So I will just copy the certificate carefully again. And after copy, I'll go in the vManage. I close it. So now if you refresh it, let me view CSR. You see, I have already my CSR. It will get updated after one step. So now we have generated the CSR. We get the file of the certificate finals. We just have to select this vManage and we have to click on the install certificate. And the certificate we have been granted from the root CA, this certificate. Now we copy the certificate from here, from the email. We'll paste the certificate in this box. And last step we have to install. If everything is fine, this certificate is going to be installed correctly. If anything is wrong, means even we miss a single dot, right? Or any bad certificate creation, it is going to be throw an error. So let me just click install. So keeping my finger crossed, should be okay. Else we have to do again all the step from scratch. So now you can see the certificate has been successfully installed. So till now we are good. So let me go again in certificate. And if I go in the controller, so you can see now we have the expiry date of certificate serial number, and this has been showing the UUID ID. And if you go in the vManage controller dashboard, now your invalid warning has been gone. So now successfully we have integrated our vManage on SD-WAN fabric. Means this vManage is ready to serve because this has been validated, this has been added, and this has been available on the fabric for the other work. Clear till here? Everyone clear? So now we done with this SD-WAN fabric configuration for this particular vManage. What next? Still my configuration is not completed for the vManage. We have one more important thing in the lab guide, which I not explain. So you can see in last till here we are good, right? Then we all good. We just granted certificate, all good. But in very top, we have the system configuration. So if you are going for the interview or any kind of discussion about the SD-WAN, they are going to ask about what is the system-wise configuration. Okay. System configuration and why it is very important. So without system configuration, okay, your SD-WAN fabric is never ever going to be on live. So this is the bare minimum configuration for every box it is going to require. Either it's a vManage, right? It's a vBond, right? It's a vSmart or your vEdge devices or CEdge devices. They all require bare minimum configuration, which is your system-wise config. And if it is not available, the onboarding is not possible on SD-WAN fabric. So first thing you have to note down. So what is the mandatory configuration available in system-wise configuration? What is the mandatory configuration we required for the system-wise configuration? So mandatory configuration for system-wise configuration is they have the 5 tuples, right? System-wise configuration have the 5 tuples. System configuration have 5 tuples. And what is the 5 tuples? First one, your system IP. The second one, your host name. The third one, your vBond IP. Right? The fourth one is site ID. Fifth one, organization name. Okay, so this is the 5 tuple you must have to define, and this is the bare minimum configuration is going to require either vManage, vBond, vSmart, vS, CS devices to just onboard them on the SD-WAN fabric. Clear? So you should know that. Now let's understand what is the system IP configuration and why it is very important. Okay. So system IP configuration is the configuration. Basically, it is going to use as a unique IP of the box. Just you can replace, understand it's equivalent to router ID. So any device you are going to define in SD-WAN, they required a system IP. Every device that is going to require system IP, and just it's a unique identification of the box. You cannot have the multiple system IP on the devices, and it is going to just serve the purpose of the router ID. So let's suppose I'm going to configure the BGP, OSPF, and EIGRP, and I need to define the router ID. So if my system IP is configured on my device, they will automatically take the same IP as a router ID, because BGP OSPF required the router ID while doing the configuration. If it is not configured, then you have to define the manually. Okay, then only your configuration is going to complete. So this is the use of the system IP. It's just unique identification of that particular box. Without this works, if you are going to configure any IGP, BGP, they are not going to take the system IP default. You have to define them manually, right? So this is system IP, and every box that is going to require the host name. As you know, every box required the host name, and also it is a very mandatory. So host name need to define. vBond IP is your vBond IP. So in case we have the 123.10.10.11, this is my vBond IP. So this is also important, because without vBond, you cannot think about your authentication or verification of the first place is going to be completed. So vBond IP is also very important. Site ID is again the very unique factor. Every site in the fabric, you can see, we must have the unique ID. Even I have the control plane, I have the site ID. We have the data plane devices when the branch location, we have the site IP, site ID. So every device or every location, we have to uniquely identify the site ID. And site ID is the just numeric value. So they have the very large number. Let me show you the site ID number. Let me go here.
Vishal, so this vBond IP is the system IP, correct? Of the vBond.
No system IP. It's a physical IP. System IP not. It's a physical IP address.
Physical, it's a management one.
No. Transport one.
Yeah, transport one, sorry. Okay.
So let me put site ID. See, this is the number. You can take any number from 0 to 42. Site ID. vBond IP is your. In our case, we have the physical IP of this particular interface. This is a WAN facing transport IP address.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So this is my organization name. Means your fabric should be attached with only one organization. It's not like with two organization. So in case in our have the scenario, we have the lab. This is my organization name. So probably you can put the any organization name like the GuiNet, you can put your SCL, right? We can put any kind of the other organization, might be you can put Orange, you can put Accenture, right? We can put Wipro, Airtel. So it totally depends. So system IP you understand, host name understand, vBond IP understand, site ID understand, organization. Any question here? What is system wise configuration?
Vishal, sorry,
Bare
can you
minimum configuration that is going to require. Yes, Sabir, go ahead, please.
please, I did not catch when you said the system IP. Can you please tell once again? I was.
So
Uh,
system IP is something that is the unique IP of the box. Okay. This unique IP box is equivalent to the router ID. Okay. And it is exactly going to use as a router ID when you're going to do some configuration like the BGP, OSPF, VIGRP. They require the router ID. So if you're not going to put the system IP, they are ask you explicitly define the system IP means or might be you have to define the router IP, right? So if you have the system IP, it will take automatically. If not, you have to define the again some router ID. So it's just a unique identification. So let me show you. See. So we have the OMP, we have the TLOC, we have the color, we have the site, and we have the system IP. Unique per device, you can see vEdge and controller. It is always going to require, and this should be the IPv4 notations, and that is also used as a router ID, BGP, and OSPF. Same thing I was talking. So this is the very unique IP of each and every box, and this is mandatory. You have to define that. Without this configuration, you cannot continue with this any kind of the communication. Okay, and this is going to be used as a router ID for the BGP and OSPF as well. So clear now?
yes.
Site ID, you can say unique per site numeric identifier used for the policy and application. We'll see how it is going to use for the policy and application. Color we'll discuss. Transport will discuss. OMP will discuss. Organization name, that is a overlay identifier common for all element of the fabric. So three things we understand, right? So let me do this configuration for this vManage because this is also bare minimum configuration. So we just have to use this configuration for this vManage as well. So let me do this configuration. So if I go and open my lab guide, I have this all configuration. So let me do here. So first thing, if I want to do a system configuration, I have to go in the syst configuration and system configuration. In this system configuration, I'll go here and define the host name. First thing, let's suppose, so host name is my vManage. Site ID, You can see the site ID is my 100 here. So I just go and put the site ID is 100. Now we have the vBond IP. So I can put the vBond IP. So in this case, I have the vBond IP is 123.10.10.11. So I can put 123.10.10.11. Now we have the site ID. Site ID already put it, organization name. Okay. So we are using the lab as organization name. So I put the lab. So how many done we? 4 done, right? Which left? System IP we left, right?
System IP, yeah.
Yeah, system IP. So system IP, you can see every device having the unique system IP. So for this vManage, we have the system IP 10.123.10.10. So don't confuse with the WAN IP. WAN IP is 123.10.10.10. System IP is 10.123.10.10, right? Clear? So I will just go and use here 10.123.10.10 and I'll just commit. So my system configuration has been done.
Vishal, one question. So in real world, like, we are using the same system IP as your subnets or like, other things, because
No, this is every organization they're on having the IP schema, not the same one. Okay.
no,
This
no,
is
I'm
just
not saying, like that, so, the where I worked, like, so I was new to this SD-WAN, so I saw all the public IPs, okay? It's 1.1.1, 1.2.2. But here,
definitely you are going to use the public IP address or private IP. It totally depends on organization level, right? But most of the case system IP is going to be private IP address, not public IP address. Because public IP address we're going to use, you have to pay. Private you don't have to pay, right?
okay. So this will be purely defined by the network admins and the.
Yes. Network architect, your consultant, your designer, they are going to just do the mapping based on your IP availability and your like region, what they're using there. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So I believe we are good till here, right? So what next? So next is we done with this all configuration. One thing you just have to understand that is also more important, you guys, right? Whenever you want to reach from this vManage to another router, we require the last gateway resort. That means we require the static route as well, default static. So we done this configuration, all the configuration has been done. Like system configuration we have done. We have done the VPN configuration, other certification, but we require the default route as well. Because let's suppose anyone is coming to me to make the reachability. Let's suppose the packet is coming from here. So let me use some other color. So when the packet is going to build, we have the source IP address and we have the destination IP address. What is source here? Just giving the example. 192.1.3.3. Just think about dot 3 is configured here. And you have to reach this 123 IP address. 10.10. So if the packet will come, let's suppose you make the reachability till here to here, right? So your packet will come here and it will forward this packet to here. So your packet will reach. So he need to reply again. When the packet will reach here, your source will become destination, your destination will become the source. So what is my source IP address? My source IP address this time is 123.10.10.10. What is destination? It is 192.1.3.3. Do you have any routing here? No, right? So the packet will drop here. So we just have to put the last gateway resort, means default routing, to this DC core switch, because they have the might be all routing information. So it will just forward back to the actual destination. So we just have to put one of the default route here. We'll understand how it is going to come in a picture. So let me go here and configure the IP, one of the default route also. And this is going to under the VPN 0. Why under the VPN 0? Because this is transport interface under the VPN 0. So you just have to go under the VPN 0 and I have to run the one of the default route also. And this time the gateway is this one and done. So we are done with this. So entire this lab book, I have configured lab workbook. So we just configure the system interface, When system IP, we just configure the VPN interface. We configure the IP route. We done the certification part and all good till here. Okay. So just give me few more minutes. We'll complete these two controller onboarding also. It's going to quickly done here. So let me do, because the vManage has been done fully. Let's do the vBond. So how vBond is going to be done? So we just have to go again in the device and again have to controller. And now we have to add the controller. Okay. So if I try to add the controller, so again, this controller must be have the allowed tunnel interface configuration must be configured. So let me see here. So we just have the allow services all, it is configured because they have to copy the certificate and all. So let me do first the certification part. I just need to copy the certificate and all. So we have the lab guide again. So if you just open the vBond lab guide and let me open the vSmart as well. So vSmart as well. So we just do the quickly these two things. So if I go in the vBond, right? See the vBond. So we have to do again the certification part. So we just have to go in the V cell and we just have to copy the certificate. This certificate we just have to copy from the roots here. Let me quickly go here. So I'll just go in the V shell here and I'll copy the certificate. This will definitely copy. You can check ls minus l. The certificate has been copied, right? If you go in the root CA, you can see this certificate is getting copied from the TFTP server because we enable the debug command here. So we are good till here. Now what we have to do that? We simply go and exit from here and we just have to install this certificate. So let me quickly do that. So how can install? We just have to run this command and we just have to install this certificate. So certificate installation is done now. Now we just have to go and add this controller on the vManage. So now we just have to add this controller on the vManage. So how can we do that? We just have to go in this particular vManage dashboard. This is my device and add the controller. Now if I'm going to add the vBond, what is my vBond IP address? 123.10.10.11 and it is reachable. What is my vBond username? Admin, and this is also admin. And I want to generate the CSR. If I add this controller, it is going to be fail. Why it is going to fail? Because technically my vBond is not a vBond. It's a VH router. I didn't convert it into the vBond. So it will not going to add. See, fail to add because you cannot add the VH router as a controller. So we have to convert my VH router to vBond. Then it is only possible to add it here. So how can convert it? So we have the special command here. So whenever you go and define the vBond detail in under the system, if you are going to put a local keyword, it will tell you are the vBond. Okay. So let me go here in the vBond. I can go in the configuration. I'll go in the system and I will go and define first vBond IP. And this is my vBond IP, the self IP address, but I'll put the local keyword. So that means this device will define as a vBond and I'll configure. So now my job has been done. So this is become the vBond by doing this command. See, this is the command. So if I go again in this particular device and I re-add, it will add it. See, now it has been added. So now I have added. So again, I have to generate the CSR. So CSR has been generated. I have to go in the certificate part again, and I have to go in the controller. And see this is vBond. See, my CSR has been already generated because during the adding process, I generated the CSR. So I'll copy this certificate, view this CSR, and I'll just copy and I'll send over the email. And I send it. Now I'll go in the vBond. This has been done. Certificate has been generated. Now I'll go in the root CA. I can run this command and I'll get the signing of the certificate. So I will go here and I will just run the Control Shift Alt again. And this is my small window. I'll paste it. So I'll press enter. So it is waiting to certificate to the copy. So I just have to copy the certificate from my email. So let me go here and I will see I have some certificate. So this is my certificate. I'll just copy the certificate and it will grant me final certificate. So I'll just paste it here. And again, I Control Shift Alt, I'll skip and enter and I'll put the quit. So after putting the quit, I'll get my granted certificate. So I'll copy my granted certificate again here. And after a granted certificate, I'll go in the email and I'll send that to that email. And I will go in this PC and you'll see that I will receive the final email. So this is my final email. And I'll just copy carefully. Nothing is missed. And I will copy. I will go in the vManage, close it. Now you see my vBond is selected right now. There is no certificate and all, right? So I will just install the certificate by clicking on top. Make sure vBond is in light yellow and paste the certificate here and install the certificate. So we make something wrong here, might be some copy paste. See, so it is showing that certificate you are trying to install is not good certificate. So let me again view the CSR. Let me again copy, might be I make some mistake. So I have to again get the final certificate. So let me paste it carefully, send it. So something went wrong. I don't know what went wrong. Okay. Let me again, I'll need to copy this. Control Shift Alt. And let me go here again. Let me carefully copy the certificate again. And
Vishal, I think you are copying the wrong one.
Yeah, yeah,
0
yeah.
minutes वाला होना चाहिए.
नीचे वाला होना चाहिए.
नीचे वाला है, I think. 0, yeah, 0 minute ago. This one, I think.
This one.
this one?
Uh,
No, this is
no,
only.
no.
Let me check verify. Na? This is ending with GA.
Yeah, that
Equal to, right?
is. Yeah,
GA equal to, right? Let me check if I'm doing the wrong copy. Yeah, no, this is not. Let me check it here. No, we are doing the wrong thing, right? It should be the
correct.
ending with PUK,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Equal
yeah.
to.
So something I'm doing wrong. Okay, you're right. Let me go here. Let me see. This one, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Thanks, guys. So might be this kind of mistake happening and we can have a trouble. So let me copy this again. And let me go in the roots here. I don't know what is going to happen. So let me do again this. Let me see if I can.
You need to write that crypto PKI server.
Yes. Let me do that. I'm trying to do that only, but I was thinking it will work, but so I have done now. Let me again go in the certificate. I need to copy it and I need to paste it. So let me enter quit. So now we have the granted certificate. And this is ending with 3QQ, right? Small and capital, right? So let me copy this all carefully. Let me send over the email. Okay. So I will send it. go and let me go on this particular window, email. Now we have this certificate. Right, this one is correct, right?
Yeah.
So I will copy this again and go in the vManage. Make sure you selected the vBond correctly and install the certificate. I will just paste it here and let me install it. So now hopefully this time no error. So my certificate has been done. So my certificate has been done, but still you are not going to see the vBond is available here because still my system wise configuration is pending. Okay. So we have to do system wise configuration. So 5 tuple configuration, we have to do that again. So system, what is my organization name? That is a lab, right? vBond already defined it, host name already defined, site ID, we have the 100 and system IP, right?
Correct.
System IP, in this scenario, we have this one, 10, 123, 10.11, right? 10, 123, 10.11. And host name already be defined, organization name already be defined, and the vBond already defined. So we are good here. We can commit it. We require one default route for just VPN 0 for literal stage. So let me put that also. So 0.0.0/0 123 10.1 and commit. So we are done. So let me check the vBond. So let me go from top. We done this one. We done this one. We done this one. We done this certification part.
Have we configured the okay, vBond. Okay.
Already done, na? Already done.
Okay.
So V1 local we make, na? So this one will
Yeah. Okay.
certification done. This then all good, right?
Yeah.
So this is also completed. So probably after some time, we are going to see vBond is up. You can see this now showing up here. So good. vBond is also available here. Now the last controller, it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. We'll just onboard the vSmart and then we'll close the session. Okay. Then we'll do the letter verification for the next class. So let me add the vSmart again. So how the vSmart? Again, I have to go in the device and controller and I have to add the controller. So this time vSmart. So even you can select by default. Sorry, one thing I missed that when you're going to add the controller vBond, it will not ask for DTLS and TLS. By default, vBond always going to use the DTLS connection. But if you add the vSmart, it will have the option TLS and DTLS both. So you can select based on your choice. By default, DTLS is going to be there. So I leave the DTLS as it is. And here I'll put the 123.10.12. This is my vSmart IP address. Username is admin. Password is admin.
Vishal, but for like from vManage to board, we require that DTLS also, correct?
It will automatically bring the DTLS. Not required. You don't do the configuration. Let me show you. Okay, let me add it here. So if you want, you don't have the vManage add the requirement, but via the CLI or via the GUI, we can change the configuration settings as well if you want. We'll see later stage.
Okay.
So now we have the vSmart. This vSmart, we don't have any kind of certificate installed. So we select again, make sure it's a light yellow. We already generated the CSR. Not here, it is not going to show you. You just have to go in the certificate part. And after going in the certificate part, we just have to go in the controller. In controller, you just have to go in the vSmart. See CSR is generated. You just view CSR. You just copy the certificate carefully again and send via the email. This certificate is ending with 4L1, right? So let me go on the root C vSmart. And we done this one. So we'll just run this crypto PKI server command. So I will go on the terminal root CA. I'll paste it here, right? Done. And now I'll go in this certification part. I will just, so this is my certificate ending with 4L1. So I will copy the certificate carefully and I will just paste it here in a small window. And after pasting, I'll click enter. I'll put the quit and my granted certificate will be done. So now I'll copy this granted certificate again from here. And via email, I'll send to my virtual PC. So let me see. It should be received. So no, this is not one. Yeah, now we have the 9th one certificate. So let me validate. It's ending with H3Z. So let me see. Yeah, 3Z. It's fine. So I will copy the certificate carefully again from here. And after copy, I'll go in the vManage. I close it. You see it has been selected. I will install the certificate. I will paste it here and I'll install it here. So this is also going to be onboarded without any problem. It looks like. So see, it has been successfully onboarded. So now if I go in a device, still my vSmart is not going to show here. Why it is not going to show me? Because we left with the bare minimum configuration. That is my system-wise configuration. All right. So let me go and complete the system-wise configuration. So here I'll go again. How many tuple is going to require for system-wise configuration? You guys tell me. What is the first tuple?
Name.
First name. Okay.
Yes. Organization name.
And then what is second? vBond name, right?
Yeah, vBond IP,
vBond
system IP,
IP.
site IP.
So yes. So 10.11.
Site ID.
Site ID. We have 100, right?
Or
And
organization name.
organization name, lab. What next?
System IP.
System IP. Okay. 10.123.10.12. You guys check it from here. So this has been done here. So let me click it here and let me commit it.
Route also.
Route, it's optional. It is going to require later stage, but let me add it here because it is also going to require. So it's for the later connectivity. So I'm just putting in advance. Okay. So done. So let me verify this vSmart lab guide from top to bottom. We done this configuration. Okay. We done this configuration. Okay. We done this configuration. Certification part we done. Controller done. All good. So let me see where it is my dashboard. See, the vSmart is also onboarded. It's automatically onboarded. So we are good with this particular onboarding process, right? But if you want to just verify the control connections, we'll see what is the control color. So control connections. So you're going to see the DTLS and TLS control connections. DTLS control connection with your vBond. You can see we have the vSmart as well, right? vManage is making the control connection. Similarly, you are going to see on the serve control connections on this particular. This also making with the vBond and vSmart. So we'll discuss what is the control connections in detail and how it is going to further, because we know that TLS and DTLS based control connection, but we'll try to understand what is the peer IP, public IP, remote port number, everything in detail later stage. But for time being, yes, these devices having the control connection as per our theoretical understanding. I mentioned that these all devices are going to build the control connection, but these vSmart to the vBond, it's a temporary control connection. vBond to vManage, temporary control connections. Okay. But vManage to vSmart, it's a permanent control connection. Okay. So we'll see that how it is going to look like. Any question, guys? to all onboarding process because it looks complex, but this is the most important.
Shall we vManage से vBond permanent connection नहीं हो?
vManage say vBond is going to be temporary connection.
Only permanent is in between vManage and vSmart.
So let me summarize here. vManage to vBond, right? Temp. Okay. Connections. vSmart.
Vishal, what is meant by that temporary connection? What does it
I'll
mean?
explain. I'll explain. No worry. Temp connection. Okay. And even VH to vBond temp connections. Okay. Rest whatever combination we have, like what we left. Let me just draw in shortcut. So if we have the any between this, right? Between this, they all are the permanent connection. Clear? So what does means temporary connection? What does mean permanent connection? Temporary connection means vBond is used for the authentication purpose only, right? So once he is going to authenticate you and he is going to inform the controller like details. Let's suppose I am the VH, right? So first thing I need to connect my vBond. So he need to authenticate me. Once he authenticate me, he will provide the information of the vSmart and the vManage. Once he done, his job has been done. He will terminate the control connections. This is the meaning of the temporary connections. Means it will not always going to build the connection for the any data communication, any kind of the file exchange, because it's just for the authentication purpose. But when I talk about the permanent connection, so vSmart to VH always required a DTLS and TLS as a permanent connection, because inside of the DTLS we have to form the OMP. So routing is always going to be required. So that's why this is the permanent connection is always going to be there. If you terminate this connection, you lose the routing information. vManage to VH, why permanent? Because any configuration you are going to do that on the vManage, it always going to push via the netconf and restconf via TLS and DTLS connection. So that's why it's a permanent connection is going to be required here. You got it? So authentication piece of work is a temporary. It just for the authentication work has been done. You are ready to release your connection. But permanent is something you have to always send some incremental information.
विशाल भाई ये नेटकॉम वाला एक बार बताना दोबारा क्या बताया था?
So what I'm trying to make a point, definitely I'll discuss in the next class, but you guys are curious, so let me explain it. Let's suppose you are doing any configuration on the vManage, right? Like you are creating any configuration. So this configuration must be pushed to the
Vishal, please. What is the question, please? Because he asked you in another language. I didn't.
Okay. Let me
understand,
yeah. So
please.
he is trying to ask what is the use of the rest netconf. He asked about what is the use of the netconf and how it is going to push the configuration. You understand, Martin? Martin?
Yes. Because
Yeah.
please, if everyone gonna ask in English, please, because it help also to understand what is the question exactly, please.
Sure.
Okay. Noted, Martin, your query. So he asked like how the netconf is going to use to just bring the communication between the vManage and the devices by using the DTLS and TLS like tunnels. So guys, whenever you're just going to create any configuration on the vManage, any type configuration, let's suppose you want to do interface level configuration of this vManage, VH devices. So always you do the configuration on the vManage and it will push to this device. So when you create the configuration for this device on the vManage, this will use the TLS and DTLS tunnel to push the configuration. So under TLS and DTLS tunnel, they will push the configuration by using the protocol that is the netconf, or the second is the Yang protocol. Means it's also like the machine language, which just going to be exchange the communication between two devices. So this is a netconf. Clear? Sakir or Sabir, who asked that? Is it clear? So TLS and DTLS is the
Yes, yes.
secure communication. By using this secure communication, by using the netcon for Yang, we can push the configuration inside the TLS and DTLS. Okay. So that's why it's a permanent connection. It always going to be there because you always have to do some configuration, incremental update, some kind of the troubleshooting. So it always going to exchange or get the information from devices. They also pull the information from the router for the real-time talk tucker, interface utilization, application utilization. Same time, vSmart is responsible for the routing. So they also form the tunnels between the vSmart to VH router, and this is also DTLS or TLS tunnel. So if this TLS tunnel is going to be down, so your OMP, so we saw that, right? Under the TLS and DTLS, we are forming the OMP tunnel. Let me go on this particular book. So see here, under the TLS and DTLS, we are carrying out the OMP updates. So if this TLS and DTLS is going to be terminated from the VH router to the vSmart or between the vSmart, we lose the all routing information. So that's why it is also very important. You always bring up your TLS and DTLS connection. But when I talk about the vBond, vBond is just one-time authentication. Once he authenticated, his job is done. So if new device is going to come, it will bring again the authentication process for the temporary momentary. Again, it will terminate. So this is how termination of the tunnel is going to be happen for the permanent and the temporary basis. Everyone understand this concept, or still anyone have any doubt?
Clear, Vishal. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Clear
you,
from my side.
Vipin. So are we good to today close this meeting and we can connect again by next week?
For
Vishal, where we can get these recording sessions?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone will get the recording access. That is going to be provided by today. So if you guys having any doubt and you are not getting recording, just reach out on 9289682701, right? If you're the international student, put +1 here, right? So just do
yeah,
the
for me,
WhatsApp. Yeah, just put the WhatsApp, right? Or just call via the WhatsApp, or if you're in India, you can do the normal call. Support team will help you to arrange anything which is required regarding the lab, plus documents, means lab guide, workbook, right? Plus recording. Everything is going to provide it.
I am joining a little bit late. The, the videos of today, if you can share, please.
Definitely, Martin is going to say it to you, okay?
Yeah, and today I will finish with with that part.
Yeah, definitely. It's a important, Martin. You just try to complete the video because the brain we configured today, okay?
Yeah, because that part of REST IP and you know REST conf.
Yeah. So brain is very important, right? If we understand the whole brain configuration, then it's very easy to integrate the branch location. So
Yeah,
we try
because
to,
that part of a root certificate server, yeah, that I didn't understand, but
no problem. So do one thing, Martin. You just try to recap the video, okay? Once you're done with the video, right? Reach out on this number if you still have any doubt, okay?
Mhm.
We'll have the one extra session for everyone who have the doubts, right? And we'll try to cover these sessions. Even it still is not clear with the videos, okay? So I'll
Yeah.
re-explain what is the root CA, why it is going to use. I try to explain in the very slow and like real-time example I hope everyone is going to understand, even they're going to rewatch the video. But I still have the doubt. I'll explain what is the use of the root CA, how root CA is going to work in the SD-WAN fabric, what is the vNet root CA, what is the Symantec root CA, what is Cisco automated root CA, and what is the enterprise root CA. This is the only four type of root CA you should know that. No other root CA available in the world, right? So most of the organization, they opt the SD-WAN solution. They use the Cisco automated root CA. You don't have to do anything. But some of the very highly confidential organization, like most of the financial organization, government sector organization, they don't trust any other root CA. They deploy their own root CA, right? And that is known as the enterprise, right, root CA. So we just have to integrate enterprise root CA, and we have done in our lab. This enterprise root CA first issue the certificate. Based on the issue of this certificate has been installed on these devices. After this certificate and their device property, right, means their own detail, right, we generated one of the CSR, certificate signing request, plus additional information, device admission. We generated the CSR. Based on this CSR, we get the final certificate from the root CA, and we install these devices to just validate the control and data plane devices. Means not data plane is still integrated, but just control plane together via the root CA. This we have done.
Okay. Okay, and that book, should we get it, or
Yes,
because it's very
definitely.
important?
Yeah, so these books are whatever the books I'm showing, right? These are the official Cisco books. So all books are going to share to everyone, right? Ebooks is definitely going to be available for the all. Along with the book, all the workbooks, right?
This
Whatever we
this
have.
this one is very important. This.
Yes, yes, definitely you're going to get this one. 100% you're going to get, right? So these books are having very detailed understanding, and I'll walk through these all books, and another book, ebooks, basically this one, right?
Yes.
So here you are going to get the definition of the different component, what is the management plane, what is the control plane, and if you are just go a little bit down, we have some topologies, secure bringing up, and we have the different architecture as well. And finally, we have some portfolio licensing information, but we discuss about the control plane bring up process, CSR, like how we can add. So most of the lab point of view, universal lab point of view, the documentation is available with some theoretical concept. This is quite big document, right? You can say 288 page. And this is the small documentation, just 84 page, because it's a crisp level of knowledge, right? You just have to understand about the fabric point of view. And in addition of that, we have the complete lab guide, how the control plane is going to configure, and even how the vManage is going to be integrated with our control plane with the certification part. And then
But on the lab guide, all everything is explained, right?
yes, you can say, like, we are referring this lab guide, right? Just vBond, right?
Yes.
It's a handwritten, right? Everything is a handwritten as per the topology only. So you can see the first step, what you have to do that, right? And you just have to watch the video, and based on the video, you just have to do the interface configuration, routing,
Okay.
certifications, how you have to do that. Then you have the how go in the vManage, and you can do the step by step adding process. Then what the special note you have to take to make the normal device, means the VH router to the vBond router, how to generate the certificate, how to copy the certificate, what you have to do done after, means what you have to do after the copy the certificate, hit enter and write quite, and quit, and then you just have to get the certificate. Then you have to go again on the vManage to just install the certificate, and then everything is good. So steps are written here, you just have to follow, and you have to like do your labs.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very easy and straightforward, but it required a lot of patience, a lot of times, because SD-WAN is one of the complex topic entire world, right? Where
Yes.
people always be confused while doing the lab and concept. So you have to put a lot of effort, you have to be patientful while learning and while doing the lab. Then only you can learn the SD-WAN. It's not like very easy and anyone can
Yeah.
learn, not like that.
But if you when sometime, sorry to take you, um, the configuration is a little bit, if you follow also some reference and the another vendor or Cisco, for example, they use very different way to the device registration of onboarding process.
You're
No,
trying to refer with different vendor this Cisco, right?
no. For example, to the onboarding process, if you, for example, I'm trying to look also another references. You see that they use another way to bring the device
Yeah, I got it.
registration.
So there are
Yeah,
multiple way to bring the controllers. I'm just
yeah,
using the one way
yeah,
only. So for me, it looks like very easy, right? But
yeah.
other like trainers might be use their own root C in the Windows servers, right? Or
Yes,
maybe
yes,
they are going to build the vManage root C, right? So I don't
yeah,
want to give all the flavors, you guys get confused, right? Just have to
yeah,
know one way. Either one, you know that you just want to make your vManage the entire certification part, and you want to do everything from that. That is also possible. You want
yeah,
to bring your Windows server as a root C, it is also possible. Router as a root C, also possible. Switch also possible. You want to integrate some external root C, that is also possible.
yeah.
So lot of way we have, but I want to
Okay.
teach only one way because I want you should know the core concept and which is the most easiest way. Okay.
Okay, this way you what you're teaching now is on enterprise or on production, something like that. Is it this way?
Yes, it's an enterprise root C, right?
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
All right, guys. So have a great Sunday, right? And see you again. Okay. Next class.
Oh,
Thank you.
Vishal,
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you.
as we required a PNet lab to do the configuration the same or
Definitely.
for the
Without,
practice.
yeah, definitely. You are going to get the lab access, and on that lab access, you have to do the all lab testings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.